It's PC for free here with the review of the Rockus3D 2.1 speakers by Soundscience, who are a sub-brand of Antec. These speakers are going to cost you around £130 or $200. Now, first of all, with a general overview of the review, I'd like to talk about the build quality. The build quality on these speakers is fantastic, particularly comparing it to other speakers in its price range. The satellite speakers themselves are made of aluminium, which you really aren't going to find any other models really. For computer speakers, it's fantastic. It avoids distortion. They feel really sturdy, and the subwoofer itself is made of what feels like a fairly strong wood. Then you've got the fabric sheeting over the front. Now we're going to talk about obviously the most important part of it, the sound quality. The sound on these speakers is absolutely fantastic. I was very impressed. Particularly compared to standard speakers bundled, you'll never be able to go back. I mean, these bring out fantastic highs, lows, mids. On music mode, these were absolutely phenomenal for music. Now I want to talk about the 3D mode, which is kind of a key defining feature of these speakers. This uses 3D SST technology, which has algorithms to create a virtual 3D sound. For games, I found this really helpful, particularly Skyrim, Modern Warfare 3. I wasn't such keen on it for films, but it did kind of add depth to the voices, which was quite nice, but then some of the effects, such as a car, didn't work that well. But overall, for games, this was really recommended 3D mode. You could hear people to the right of you, to the left of you. It's quite hard to distinguish people behind you. But overall, I was actually very pleased with the 3D mode. So, from now we've got good sound quality, very good build quality, and quite a nice 3D mode feature on top too. So now let's move on to look at the subwoofer. Here we have the subwoofer. Now this is an active subwoofer with a passive radiator, which is supposed to prevent noisy cooling of the speaker. Inside this box, this rather large box, you've got a 6.5-inch driver, which helps create like deep bass. Now, if we can turn around the speaker to the back, there we are. So as you can see here, this is where all the inputs are on the speaker. What we're looking at now is where the speaker wire goes to the speakers. This goes to the satellite speakers here, this central section where it says 2 speaker, as you can see. Speaker wire connects in here and then goes to a standard 3.5mm plug, which I really like this actually, because you can just plug in neither satellite's designated for a particular area, whereas on others it's fixed. I like being able to disattach it. These speakers also allow a variety of inputs, one which is digital, which is very nice, which you can use for your PS3, Xbox gaming systems. I really like that. You've also got your RCA inputs, which go to the 3.5mm jack shown there. Going down, we've got this switch for bass level. Now this is a very good feature, and this lets you adjust your bass level to how much you want bass for particular applications. For example, if you want a lot of bass when listening to certain genres of music, dubstep, or you want to crank it down a bit for games. Personally, I whack it on 3 because I love bass. Then you've got the 8-pin connector to the controller. Another really nice feature of these speakers is the off and on switch right in the subwoofer. Quite a lot of these don't have that, and you have to turn them off and on at the wall, but here's one actually built into the speaker, which is a really nice touch there. So a very good subwoofer, which provides a very nice low bass. Now onto the satellites. So as I mentioned earlier, these satellite speakers are made of anodized aluminium with this kind of plastic hood here, which isn't actually aluminium. But what's really nice about them is they're much higher quality than competition, such as similarly priced like Bose. This metal is trying to remove any distortion caused by loud volumes, and believe me, these speakers can go loud. They're very good for parties where you're going to need loud music to rise over all the background noise. You've got the input there, which leads to the speaker wire channel on the subwoofer, which we showed you earlier. There we are, this is speaker wire. Now these speakers are angled 30 degrees upwards, which should provide optimum level of kind of angling the sound at you, both on a desk for the computer and on a low system for TV if you're using it for movies, on one of those low TV stands. There's kind of a real sweet spot between the speakers when you angle them towards you, where you get perfect crisp music, which you can really hear. You can see they've also got a fairly small footprint on these speakers. They're quite an unusual shape, but this small footprint means they don't take up too much space on your desk, which is really another nice feature. Overall, these satellite speakers were very impressive, perhaps even more impressive than the subwoofer themselves. I really did like them. Now onto the control pod, which is kind of the only real weakness of the speaker systems. At the front here you've got a single button on the front, which lets you switch between music mode and 3D mode, and also switch between your optical and digital inputs. This top here spins and is able to push down for the mute function. You push it down. When you unmute it, the sound comes back slowly, which is a really nice touch. That's one thing I really liked. However, the bass on these speakers is kind of slippery, so it doesn't really stick, and it can move around on your desk quite a lot. Also, when you're adjusting volume, you're not getting any touch feedback. It's just the light on the control pad itself flickers. One really big problem I found is there's no headphone input on these speakers, so you're going to have to lean over to change the input into the back of your computer or laptop to change the input, which isn't that great. Once again, I'd like to say thank you to Soundscience for letting me do the review. It's been PC for free. So overall, I've been very impressed with the build quality. The sound quality was amazing. The only real weakness and kind of oversight is the control pod itself, but still, this is a fantastic set of speakers. For that reason, I'm awarding it the Gold Award. A big thanks to Antec and Soundscience for sending this to me, and you can also expect more products from Soundscience in the new year. I hope you all had a nice Christmas, and Happy New Year to you for the upcoming new year. PC for free.